Okay. Alright. Let's do this. Just gonna do something very quick and then I'm gonna get started. I was actually trying to find a fix for Tony Hawk's Underground 2 remix in the PSP. Playing through RetroArch anyway. It's actually a very simple setting you just have to change if you want to play it. Unfortunately, not a lot of information is out for it, so just gonna go ahead, reset core options and turn off fast memory. That for some reason just makes the game borderline unplayable. And then I just need to adjust one other thing very quick. Yeah, I got the Guilty Gear Judgment on. I'm just gonna make a quick save data. I'm gonna see if it's possible to transfer the save data from the Japanese standalone version to the version that's in. Oh. Okay. Well, I guess there's none of that. All right. Whatever. I'll just change some settings around. There we go. I don't really care too much about that, but I've been mainly messing around in Metal Gear Solid the Twin Snakes on the GameCube because I want to try to get all the dog tags, and that has not been the most fun, but we'll mess around with that a little later. Right now, let me go ahead and turn off the console and switch over to Diablo 3. I actually have beaten the game on Nightmare, so I believe the next step up is Hell Mode. But before I do dabble into the game a third time, I am going to have to get the rest of the upgrades for the Blacksmith and the Alchemist dude, I think. I forget what his name is called. The Jeweler Dude? The Jeweler Dude, yeah. There you go. The dude that basically gives you all the gems and shit. Also gotta charge my phone since I'm gonna be busy tomorrow. Alright. Also gotta plug this in too. The little vacuum that actually could. Ironically enough. Wonderful. Nice ding sound. Probably got disconnected, but I don't know. I'll have to figure it out in a second. I was going to start earlier, but I was actually busy trying to grind on Red Dead Online. The payouts in the trader, even with double pay, is terrible, honestly, but I should be able to get the medium wagon soon. let me go ahead and switch over, I guess. I don't know why Nightbot didn't do shit, but whatever. I don't really care, to be honest. Sometimes it's just a piece of shit. Okay. But yeah, more than likely we're going to be doing this for at least an hour. I don't know if uninstalling things using uninstall tool will make the footage fuck up, but I do have to uninstall something. So let me take care of that right now. Shouldn't take very long. I'll do a refresh just in case. And then I'll set the stopwatch or whatever. Or something. I'll actually put it in this tab. I'm sure there's some Windows executable that has like some sort of timer and shit, but I'm too lazy to find it. And of course it's going to take a while, so that's nice. Let's see. This here. This I have to actually leave open. This I can probably close. And this I just need to leave open. Alright. Just refresh one more time. Got the laptop muted so there's no unnecessary ding sounds or whatever. Might as well put the chat here, but because I'm not playing some stupid battle royale, I'm not gonna probably get much traction, so whatever. I'll do the best I can though. And I'll just leave this here. And leave that there, I guess. I don't know how else I can lay it out. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Let's do this. So pretty much my main goal right now is to just get enough of the pages and shit. Oh my god. Fucking stupid ass fucking connection, dude. Pretty much the main goal right now is to just get enough of the pages of the jewel smithing and blacksmithing. That's basically my ultimate goal right now. Anyway, I think it's finally starting to uninstall, so I'll go ahead and reset the timer. I'm not going to count that bullshit. There we go. Also made sure to pair offline, though. It's not like people can even play this version anymore, I'm sure. I don't really mind it, to be honest. Then again, it has been some time since I've actually played Diablo 3, so if there's any noteworthy changes for better or worse, I honestly couldn't say. Alright, here we go. I do know this is actually, by definition, a game that actually is a complete package. Like, you're getting a game that, you know, there's no extra bullshit or whatever, so you're essentially getting a full product. Even if the product may not be good, it's still a full product. I was actually thinking about that for a while, actually. Well, how so many games just essentially launch incomplete or buggy and shit.
Like, you really only put up with so much, to be honest. It just gets kind of nonsense so much people defend that shit. Oh, I actually had a rare drop on the first session. And I hope it's actually something good. Some of these again. Oh shit. Alright. Actually, that's something really good, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna mainly be looting pages and gems, I guess. Not really too much about other stuff now. Maybe when I get to the next tier difficulty, when I start going through hell, then I'll worry about it, but right now I'm just mainly trying to wrap up on the page collecting. I probably have much more to talk about when I get to Twin Snakes, because I know that there's, I can kind of play it in some capacity, I guess. Well, I am going to be making various save points and save states, but I guess for the purposes of playing it on the stream, I won't be using it too much unless I have to. Because of my intention, though, with how I'm going to be playing it, I am going to be utilizing a specific skip, I guess, if you want to call it that. And since I'm mainly trying to get dog tags and not much else, I'm going to be using the cardboard box C to jump right into the snowfield. Yeah, it's a snowfield. Canyon is the area with the tank. I've been wanting to find a way to, like, find codes that, like, drain the boss's health bar, but because of how finding GameCube codes work on RetroArch, it's a lot more annoying, because I think all searches are under 8-bit or whatever compared to whatever it is on Dolphin. I could probably do it for there too, but it's, I know it's a bit more convoluted. I have technically found ways to get the stuff from, what the hell is it called? The stuff from Crash Nitro Kart, I think it's called, with the race and shit, which I gotta see if I have the save data on RetroArch and shit. I don't remember if I've gone through the adventure mode yet as Team Cortex or whatever, or Team Evil as it's in the Game Boy Advance version for some contrived reason. I know they're technically bad guys, but it's I don't know, it just seems like a really silly change, I guess. Even if it is technically true. And it's not even misleading, but it's just kind of a silly change, I guess. I don't know. But the main reason I'm doing Silver Spire Level 2 is not only for the experience gain, but just because it is technically the last dungeon you go through in the entire game before fighting the final boss, so it would kind of make sense that you would probably get the best drops, I guess. Also, finally, safe to say, I finally got a setup that I think might work. unless it's some other super special secret setup that I haven't found yet. But this one is probably the most comfortable for me. Maybe with the spiders to give you mana back, so that you can use the bats more, I guess. The game's saving system is kind of weird, but you can technically use it to your advantage. So basically, you don't want to trigger the checkpoint before going up to the room that initiates the cutscene, because that will cause the game's quest progression to move on. So basically, before I get to that hallway, whatever, you can just quit, whatever, and it'll save your progress. I guess in Diablo's case, the lack of quick saving is not inherently a bad thing, because technically the game's design is around it. But I actually did watch G-Man's review of Doom: The Dark Ages, even though I pretty much swore not to watch him that much after not only his man-childlike attitude on Twitter or whatever, but just the fact that he did a really shitty review of the Twin Snakes, and I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the worst remake of a game of all time, but people act like that it is, and I just don't think it's true. Doesn't mean it's immune to criticism, but it's a very decisive game for sure, but I wouldn't call it the absolute worst remake of a game of all time. It's definitely no Resident Evil 1 on the GameCube, but mainly part of it is just lazy reuse assets and shit, and the fact that the devs who made it, despite porting over the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, didn't really do much with the Metal Gear Solid 1 layouts and shit, so it feels a lot more easier and a bit more convoluted at the same time. There's definitely a lot to like, and definitely a lot to not like, but I'd still say it's much better than playing Metal Gear Solid 5, if that means anything. It probably doesn't, but I'm going to get back to my original point, because I don't want to ramble about that yet anyway, but I know Machiavelli on Discord was telling me about the whole Doom Civil War going on, which I think is funny, and I actually left an entire reaction to that shit, and it's just like, holy fucking shit, dude. The fucking points that G-Man made were just so fucking terrible that it's not even funny. Id Software really nailed it, but there were a number of points that made me think that they really didn't. It's, I really don't think they nailed it, Mr. G-Man. I think they kind of fucked up. It's, I guess one interesting caveat that I'll give them is that the levels aren't necessarily arena-like, and that it's much more traditional level-to-level and stuff, kind of like how the older games were, but all this extra crap, and yet it has pulverized the fandom like this, is not only ironic to me, but it just proves that people are eternally retarded. There's no better way to explain it. Like, oh, it's the easiest Doom game. Wow, really? After Eternal? I'm not surprised. There's a bunch of enemies that essentially feel like fighting for 10 minutes. In fact, I think there was an enemy in the game that's basically like what the Marauder is now, except there was a whole thing about Mayo given a fan base because he basically defended his husbando and has artwork that basically is the Marauder. It's like Low Tier God and his Gil artwork that he sells, except, I guess to be fair, Mayo doesn't sell it, I guess, but it's still kind of weird that he essentially uses art from an enemy, I guess, and he calls it the best shit ever. Laughs at Grim Reaper from Symphony of the Night, but I don't know, I guess that's kind of throwing stones at glass houses, I guess, or however the hell you call it. But it's still kind of dumb. But like a lot of the points he made were just really fucking dumb. It is definitely not convincing me to play the game. In fact, I'd rather play Wolfenstein 2 again, or even Wolfenstein Youngblood. I know that is a very controversial game because the characters in there are essentially girl boss. And while you definitely can argue that, I like to think that it's just a really unfunny version of what Duke Nukem did much better. Because that's what it really is at the end of the day. Like, essentially just two chicks who are the son of B.J. Blazkowicz and trying to be like Duke Nukem and funny, except not really. And most of that cringe stuff in cutscene form is mainly at the beginning of the game. Which is kind of sad because most of it after that point, as far as I can remember, is mostly gameplay after that point. Really unrefined gameplay, but still gameplay nonetheless. But yeah, I need 17 more pages for the Tome of Jewel Crafting, and I gotta make more of these so I can make more Tome of Secrets, because that's what I need to train him to get to level 9. And then I need to make more of the books to get him to level 8. Or level 6, excuse me. And unfortunately the helmet I have on only has one socket, so I can't really do much. Oh well. But yeah, it's just fucking dumb, dude. Like, I don't get people sometimes. Like, for a game that's supposed to be, like, taking place before 2016 Eternal, isn't that what Doom 64 basically tried to do with its lost levels and shit? Where the whole point of the lost levels in there was essentially link Doom 2016 and Doom 64. So now we have something that's in a more convoluted timeline and shit. Like, it's so fucking dumb. I also really want to know why people still want to hang on to John Carmack's quote and shit when it just no longer works for Doom, when it wants to be all story and backstory or whatever now, except it's some of the most contrived shit ever, and it just doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. Like, that quote can only go so far when its simplicity is the reason why the quote exists. Like, the whole thing about Doom is that its story was simple, yes, but it wasn't necessary. That's why people like Doom, because it didn't try to tell a super innovative story or anything. In fact, there's plenty of games, even after Doom, that had a story that kept you engaged, but it wasn't like the main selling point. Usually the point of those games is to help you set something up so you have a reason to do shit. Like, even Diablo, except Diablo has much more meaningful lore and shit, but you're still mainly playing the game for its addicting gameplay, which I can understand when people aren't really into it, but it's still a type of game where the story isn't exactly the focus point, but it has things in it that at least make sense, and at least makes sense to the story, which that's another point that I think people also misinterpret it. Like, there's just so many inconsistencies from 2016 to Eternal, and then Eternal to Dark Ages, and it makes no sense that people will still defend it as if it has done nothing wrong. Like, hasn't there been several comic book films or anything of the sort where they just get a lot of shit wrong, and yet people crap on that all the time, but because it's Doom, the game that's known to have the story in a porn or whatever, quote, that it can still be exempt even if it has the most dumbfound excuses for whatever the fuck, it makes no sense. It's a pretty fine line between story in a porno is not important, and we'll just write whatever, and people eat it up anyway because it's based on an IP that they played in the fucking 90s. It's fucking dumb, dude. I personally haven't played Diablo 4, and I personally have no plans on doing so because it's all online only, regardless of platform. But I know that people have mentioned that they don't care for the lore or even story in Diablo 4 or whatever. And I like to think part of that is just because of how inconsistent it is compared to the other games. Especially since Diablo's a fucking woman now. Which is something in itself, but whatever. I guess Diablo is like Loki or really angry black woman. I don't know. But it's just dumb that people will come to Doom's defense because it at one point didn't focus on story, and now people are pulling a 180 with it, and I just think it's fucking dumb. Like, I guess for a reason, Doom wants to have a deep established backstory, which is acceptable, I guess, but the way that Hugo Martin is doing it is why I will forever trash on it. I don't even like 2016, to be honest. That's also another thing that people also need to understand. I'm not going to pretend that what Eternal and Dark Ages have done is all of a sudden me forgiving 2016. No, I still think the game's a piece of shit. I don't like the level design changes from the classic games, or even Doom 3 to extent. There are things that I suppose 2016 has done slightly better than Eternal, but there's still games at the end of the day, and no comparisons will not change shit. That 2016 really did tarnish a lot of the gameplay that was separated from the classics. The only difference is that looking back at what Eternal brought over compared to what 2016 did, is that 2016 at least let you kind of play however, and you weren't usually punished unless you were just a bad player. Eternal and Dark Ages, you basically are punished for straying away from the intended path, and people still want to use that argument that, oh, well, it's just a skill issue, or, well, there is variety, you're just not using it correctly. Well, I usually like to think that if you're playing a game and you can kind of find ways to have fun with it in a way that makes sense to you, or that, I don't know. I'm having a hard time wording it, but it's like watching a fighting game, I guess. This is probably going to be a really shitty comparison, but it's like a fighting game where the characters are, like, there's characters in the game, yes, but the way that Doom works in a way is that Modern Doom is like a fighting game where every character has the same combo and has the same meta and shit. Whereas something like Classic Doom or any game that has good design is that you have characters that can do shit, but a person who plays that character is going to do something different, but still shows how good it can be regardless. Or even better, actually, something like Dark Souls, a game that's notoriously known to being the most difficult game of all time because it doesn't hold your hand compared to Baby Man Skyrim, whatever the fuck. Which, that's another thing I need to bring up, actually. Of all the games that claim that bullshit with Doom or whatever, that it ruins your playstyle or whatever, Dark Souls is unironically one of those games, with the exception of like very specific boss matchups. You can usually play the game however, and you're not usually punished, and the game allows a lot of options anyway. It's just that a lot of those options, in particular, if you want to use like a specific weapon, you usually have to go out of your way to find it. And that's usually a case of like a lot of these games. Even Diablo, for example, which, okay, I want to use this weapon. Okay, we're gonna have to buy it at the shop, or something, or whatever. It's just kind of how it is. But with Dark Souls or even Demon Souls, you have a lot of options at your disposal, and how you use it is up to you. The only time it's really a bad thing is if you keep dying, or in the rare case of an enemy just not being defeatable unless you use one specific tactic. But you usually can go about it pretty much however you want, and the game doesn't really care as long as you get past it somehow. Some strategies can be considered taboo, like if you're playing a game and you're using a strategy that can be like boring as fuck to watch. But it isn't necessarily against the game's rules, it's just like, you know, why would you do that? It's not exactly right, but it isn't exactly like breaking the rules or whatever. Like how people feel about summoning. Which I still don't know why people get up in arms about that shit. Especially since Elden Ring Night's Reign of all things has apparently teased PvP in a game that's mainly about co-op. And last I checked, people don't play Souls games for co-op nowadays, even though that was like the whole unique shtick about it, is that it had invasion system, which, Doom Eternal promised but never delivered, but, I guess we forgot about that. Mob COVID. Whatever. But, all I know is that people really defend Doom a lot, and it's fucking retarded. And I'm just sitting here playing Diablo 3 because save transferring to the modern version at some point. If it even does work, if not, then, well, fuck my life, I guess. But it's, these people are fucking dumb, and I hate that people defend these games if they've done nothing fucking wrong. That's my problem. I've given reasons to why I don't care for it. They just don't like people saying bad things regardless of the fact. Alright, I'll give it a couple more runs, I guess. Maybe I'll start up on whatever the fuck. And I'll probably move on to Twin Snakes after, depending on how much more pages I make and shit. I'm gonna get rid of this fucking portal too. I really don't need it, to be honest. I don't know if the game will actually save it though. Like, I don't really need that portal, because you can just go here and you're just right there anyway. I don't know. The game is kind of weird about that. One thing I will say I'm kind of pissed off about this game, though, is that I know there's a very specific... Oh, the fucking portal has appeared. Well, that's nice. Whatever. One thing I will say, though, that I am kind of pissed off at, and this is definitely my fault, is that there is a drop in Whimsyshire, I think it's called. It's the secret level that you get by getting the plans from the boss of this area, or the boss before the department I'm at, which for some reason is an incredibly low-ass drop rate. It was fucking annoying, to be honest. But anyway, you get that. You have to find 3 pieces, which I think I mentioned that when you're playing on the console version, you have to find 3 components compared to like the PC version's like 6, I think, or yeah, I think it's 6. They also made the price a lot lower, and it's just a lot easier to get, I guess. Which, I guess it's either a really lucky nerf, or fucking Blizzard was trying to talk down the console players. But whatever. I don't really think it matters, to be honest. But whatever. But basically, there's a unique drop in one of those one of the creatures there. And apparently it's supposed to give your follower a unique nameplate or whatever, but I think I accidentally salvaged it, and I'm really pissed off because the enemy that appears there is not exactly common, and the bonus level is actually quite big, to be honest. So it's I'm definitely not happy that I kind of fucked myself out of on a potentially funny item, I guess. I'll probably try farming it, I guess, after another 1 or 2 of this. Then I think I'll more than likely start doing hell, I guess. Like I said, I'm just mainly trying to get pages and shit. There's probably a much better place for it, but just in terms of just getting XP or whatever, I think this is probably the better spot for it. Maybe I'll try going to Whimsyshire after this run. I guess I don't really feel like running this anymore. I don't know. Just not feeling it, to be honest. I think. Yeah, I'll probably go to Whimsyshire after this. Alright, there's not much left, I think, so I'll just, Actually, I gotta see what quest actually has Tyrael with you, I think. I might actually bring him along when I, do the, whatever mission, I guess. So I can bring him along with me, I think. Because there are some quests you can have, like, a temporary follower and they don't die, whatever. It's kind of like Skyrim, except you can probably get more exploitation out of it. I guess it just depends how you play it, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna go to Whimsyshire. I'll at least get the XP for beating the quest. Actually, never mind. I don't think it's part of it yet. Whatever. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Nagel ring. Oh, I already have it. What the fuck? Ah, you can't have two of the same ring on. It sucks. Well, this one is a much higher level, so I'll salvage that. Alright, repair. Encrusted hoof. Sure, why not? Still 12 more pages left, I think. What the fuck? I think there's a reason why Blizzard made it so that when you want to get the levels from there or whatever, they just made it a money requirement, because this is kind of insane. But whatever. Alright, Act 1. Alright, let me do some quick looking up. I'll pause the timer very quick. Alright, whatever. Let's just go back. I'll just do this one. As long as Leia is with me, though I highly doubt it. There we go. Alright, let's go and get our staff of herding, I guess, and make our way, I guess. Utterly pleased. Of course you are. I love how the main character references the cow level. That's just great. That's just great. Alright, Whimsyshire. Here we go. Shit. Wait, this secret level is just great. It's just stupid, silly fun. I'll probably move on to Metal Gear after this. Oh look, there's Diablo Pinata. Sweet. Essentially this world's version of the chest that gives you all the good shit. So that's good. Oh, the exit's right there. Well, I'm definitely not leaving yet. I'm kind of surprised there's this thing here and not just some, like, end of the rainbow shit or something. It's kind of low-key lazy, I guess. But I'll digress since this level is fairly witty and unique. Oh shit. Shit, I went in a circle. Oh shit. I got a fucking rare weapon. Let's see. Oh, the bone shatter. It's not any better than what I have. Slain enemies rest in pieces. I'm actually curious what this does now. I'll use it for a little bit. Oh shit, I didn't even explore this part yet. Fuck. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up what that weapon does, because I'm not sure what its effect means, to be honest. I'm kind of confused about that. I'll finish exploring, I guess. I might do one more run, I guess, because this area is just so fucking based. Or the fuck people say these days. Probably not the best XP place, I think, but maybe I could be wrong on that. But I do know that I've been getting a lot of pages, I think, and that's definitely the best part. But let's go check the other place I didn't find. I'll warp back to town and I'll do this one more time. Then I'll definitely move on to Metal Gear for a bit. Just make sure I touch the clouds first. somehow missed that. Good job. Okay. There should be every nook and cranny. Yeah. Oh, that's the entrance and that's the exit. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, Whimsyshire is fun. It's very silly and goofy, but it's also useful for gameplay, so it definitely gets more than enough passes, honestly. Alright, one more of these I can finally level up Artisan. Thank fuck. Yeah, I gotta look up what that stuff is, to be honest. I'm gonna look it up very quick. I'm not gonna bother doing the seasons, by the way. I don't care for that shit. I understand there's an appeal for it, but it's definitely not my thing. It's basically battle passes before battle passes are a thing. That's really all that it is. Alright. What is a legendary weapon? Oh, this is a weapon that's not even in the game anymore. Shit. But isn't it even any good? I don't know. I'll just stick to the broken stuff. Oh my god. Alright, I'll go deposit it, I guess. Yeah, I have to change my wiring again. Something is just making it, like, really fucked, and it's annoying the fuck out of me. I'll just make my way to the Whimsyshire entrance again. I'll do one more run. And then I'll move over to Twin Snakes, I guess. Oh my god, this is fucking retarded. Okay. Alright, let's do this one more time. What the? Whatever. But yeah, I'll definitely do this one more time. And I'll move on to Twin Snakes. And see if I can go to bed. Going to be making various game saves though when I get to the part I need to get to though. Also do the same with Metal Gear Solid 2 whenever I feel like playing that shit again. Oh my god, dude, what the fuck? Actual technical difficulties is gonna make me not want to bother at this point. Like, what the fuck? Alright, whatever. I'll try one more time, but if it goes out, I'm just gonna end it. I'm tired of this crap.